So this story is about a little bit over 4 years ago, whenever we were in 8th grade, right? So the story is kind of funny and kind of nasty, and you'll see why in a little bit. So whenever the football team at Manor High School, well, this is what we used to do, whenever they got to the first round of playoffs, they used to invite the 8th graders to come play with them. So we used to get on the field, stand with them, or play in the stands. So they said, okay, you can come on. We had to turn in our permission slip a week before, which is November 11th, 2007. And the reason why I remember this date is because November 18th was a day that I really didn't like. So we turned in our permission slips. We're waiting outside the band hall at Manor Middle School. If you remember what Manor Middle School is, if you're like looking straight at it, it's to the left, that's where the band hall is. But if you went to Decker, it's the exact same floor plan, just to the right. So we're waiting for the bus. It's me, Kiara, Otto, Jason, Madeline, everybody else just waiting for the bus. We rode charter buses to the playoff games, and we were supposed to get barbecue. So as we're waiting for the bus, we realized that it's going to take a while. So we decided to play tag, because tag was always fun whenever we were in middle school. So we all get in a circle. Somehow we decide who's it, and always it's me. So we're like, okay. So I start going to the wall. I start counting to, I think, at least 20, so they can have some way to get, far away from me. So I close my eyes, count to 20. And as soon as I open my eyes, I start looking around. I see Jason in the middle of the street just dancing around like a little fool, trying to say, oh, come get me. So he challenged me, so I started running. As I'm running across the grass, I feel that I had no traction on the grass because it was a little wet because of sprinklers. So I disregard the feeling, knowing that, okay, there's only about 5 feet left on the grass, so I can get on the concrete or to the road. So I jump off the grass onto the concrete, and I soon realize that I have leveling or traction on the ground. So I start running after him. So I jump towards him, and then he dives on the ground, so I just barely miss him. So he runs exactly to where I am, or to where I was. He goes to the grass, and he says, oh, you can't get me. So it was a challenge, again. So I'm kind of mad right now, just because he's shorter than me, he's slower than me, and I can get him. So I'm running back, I jump onto the curb, and as I land on the curb, I jump again. But this time, I cannot grab anything with my feet. I slip off the grass, and I start falling to, from getting up from a push-up, I start falling down to a push-up. So as I'm getting parallel to the ground, my hands slide across the grass, or what I think is the grass. My knee hits the curb, and I'm on the ground for a second. I quickly get up, so I play it off all cool, and everybody's laughing. Madeline's over there making fun of me because she's my cousin. That's what they're supposed to do. And so I get up, I go to the little silver gray swirly cue things where you put your bike. I just sit there with my hands on my knees, they're a little trembling because I just landed on them. 180, 200 pounds just landed on it. Like, okay, they're a little trembling. And then I feel something warm and wet in my left hand. So I look down, there's a puddle or little thing of blood in my whole hand. My whole hand is red right now. Redder than this, redder than crimson red. And then I start freaking out. No words are coming out of my mouth right now because of all the blood. And my hand's starting to tremble, so the blood's starting to shake everywhere. So then I run to the assistant band director, Mr. Garles, and instead of words, I'm just pointing at it like I'm dying or something. And so he's like, ah! So he takes me to the band hall. I'm dripping blood everywhere. And I tell me to pour it down the sink. All this oozing, gooey, red, nasty blood is going into the sink. I wash it off, and I go to the nurse. 4:29 is when I got to the nurse, because the nurse leaves at 4:30. I barely made it. He looks at it, he says, oh, you're going to need stitches. He wraps up my whole hand in gauze. And then he calls my parents saying he needs to go to the hospital. So my mom and dad come pick me up. They take me home just so they can get the insurance card and all of that. And then I'm on the couch. I fall asleep for 30 minutes with my hand elevated. And so they wake me up. Now I'm in the back of the car. As they're driving, this is where I'm feeling the pain. This is where my eyes are gouging out of my skull because of how much my hand hurts right now. If you can see it, it's a giant gash right here. And so when I get to the hospital, I have to wait about 45 minutes because there's a lot of accidents or something happened that day. When they let me in, the guys look at it. They start cleaning out all the little rocks, all the little pieces of grass in it with the little tweezers. It hurts a little bit because I can see the little white meat inside of my hand. It's like the It's a giant valley full of it. The doctors take me in. They give me 4 shots of pain medicine, and then they start sewing me up 8 stitches at a time, or 8 stitches. The blue and the red look so nasty. The blue stitches with the red blood. And when he's done, he's like, "Okay, good job." Pats me on the hand. Pats me on the hand. Oh, we were about to lose a doctor that day. Oh my gosh, it hurts so much. But sometimes, whenever I look back, I see my hand. I couldn't play sports. I couldn't play my instrument. I couldn't even make arts and crafts for 2 months. And I remember all the times when I was a little kid when I played tag and nothing of this happened. And I realized that the youth sometimes fails us. Thank you.